about doing it on a classic? What
So,
do you think about that title?
So there was a good question. That's a good question because I was talking to Tony Doherty backstage, and then Bob Lorimer comes up, and it was so funny. Like, I was trying to talk to Tony, but I'm standing right there. I'm sitting right there. So I'm like, talk to me, dude, because he's trying to tell him to tell me to do the show. I'm like, are you that scared to just say it? So I said, Bob, I literally just was telling Tony, if I win tonight, I'm going to do your show in March. He was like, huh? It was like he didn't want to believe it. I was like, Tony, tell him. Phil Heath wins number 8. He's doing freaking Arnold Classic, and he's going to kill everybody. So I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do all of them. Well, not all of them, but I wanted to do that one, maybe in Australia. Mm-hmm. And then, possibly, go for number 9 right there, or take a year off. I don't know. But I was like, I wanted to just win 8, do those, and then I could say, well, I've completed the goal. What else is there for me? Okay, obviously number 9. So then I would have done the show, obviously, in Vegas, the number 9. But that gets pushed aside right now because I still have to be, realistic and say, well, first of all, I couldn't do the Arnold Classic, 2019, because I got to have surgery. Mm-hmm. The Olympia next year.
But you open to the idea of potential?
Oh, yeah, I am. I mean, I got it. But, they know they know that there's a separate conversation that needs to take place. I feel like there needs to be, for me to do something like that, I just feel like I'm a businessman, right? So I believe, like, if I were to do a show like that, I need to know what type of marketing you're doing. Because you're using my likeness, right? I'm lending and that's something that a lot of athletes have to understand.
Right.
The NBA, I mean, those guys get it. The top guys, they get it. You utilize my likeness and this and that. That's why I'm getting these max contracts and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm getting those $100 million shoe deals and stuff like that, because you know how to lend your likeness out. Mm-hmm. Athletes in this sport don't know how to lend. They don't understand that they're lending their likeness. Your blood, sweat, and tears are getting. You offer that to a sponsor.
Especially if you have a huge following.
Right. Like, you are giving them something that they probably don't have on their own, because none of them compete. Right. You probably have more followers than the person that's trying to pay you. Right. So there has to be a certain type of sit down to figure out. We're not talking about like, I better win the show and this and that. It's like, no, that doesn't work. That's f***ing corruption and bullshit. Like, we're not talking about that. We're talking about, what is your marketing schedule? What does that look like? If I decide to say I put my name on the dotted line, and you guys either utilize my image, how am I going to be utilized? Right. Because if you're just gonna put me on a shelf and not talk about anything.
It's got to be an event.
Hell yeah, it's got to be cool, man. Like, I want things to be cool. Like, if I were to do Arnold Classic, I'd say, all right, here's the deal. I want to be on, local news. I want to be on some type of television promo leading up into the show. I want to be on every piece of signage there is, saying that 7-time Mr. Olympia Phil Heath is doing Arnold Classic. I want, a handshake with Arnold. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to have dinner with him or something like that. These are things that cost no money.
PR opportunities, basically.
But these are things that really don't cost as much money as people think. So, as an athlete, you can make things work for you. I mean, I love Schwarzenegger, man. Like, I still get giddy just when he walks through the room. So why wouldn't I say to him, like, or his people, like, hey, man, I do your show and I win. I want to get on one of these cameos on one of your freaking productions that you put on. I would love to freaking be able to do that. All he has to say is no, but I actually, I want to be able to. Right. If you don't speak up, they ain't gonna do nothing for you. If I said, hey man, I want one of those cool jackets for me and my whole entire family, if I win, why can't I have that? These are little things, and people are like, that's all you want, this and that. But yeah, maybe that's all I want. Maybe I want an extra plane ticket or something, for my girl, and maybe another one for my friend, or I don't know. But these are things that I just want to be able to sit down and just
be a conversation,
right? And I think that's important. I think at this stage in the game, I mean, if you look at boxing, if you look at MMA, their top athlete always is able to sit at the table, and in bodybuilding, we don't really have that. And it's not like I'm entitled, but
just common sense.
I think it is. I mean, at this point, I think who has the most currently right now of active bodybuilders, that have competed this year, who has the biggest following? I do. Right. So why wouldn't you want to utilize that? But if you're utilizing it just for your own benefit, I mean, where do I fit in? I got to make sure that this works good for me too, because you're making money off of my likeness, and how can I do it for myself? Exactly. And how can we work together? Like I said, on marketing, that's it. Like this, the cool Like my
You've seen Conor McGregor, stuff like that.
absolutely my charity event. If I were to do Arnold Classic, my charity event should be publicized. No question about it. When it comes to Olympia, it should be similar conversations. Like, all right, Phil, you do the Olympia. We're gonna highlight these things about you, and not just rely on $7 Productions to go do it. Like, these are things that like we could be doing throughout the year with you, with Rami, with Bonac, with Sean. We could be doing all this cool shit. Have me fly in, train with all of them. You know what I'm saying? You know how much hype, you know how crazy that'd be? Bonac come into my gym and start talking some shit. You know what I'm saying? Or Rami or something. Or not even talking shit, just hanging out. Having a roundtable discussion. They start doing that in the fight game. They start having
fun, right?
Fun stuff. Right. Be creative. Be fun. So I think that's where I'm at this point, is that these are things like look, even with my current physical condition, I could compete for 10 more years. I could compete at 10 more years at an even higher level after the surgery is over. No question about it, in my mind. But I want to make sure that it's fun. I want to make sure that the marketing is where it needs to be for all of us athletes. We should be like, when Ronnie Coleman was winning the Olympia, he was on late night talk shows afterwards. Why am I not on there? I'm articulate. I think I'm fairly dapper. You know what I'm saying? I got some swag and all this other shit. But you know what I'm saying? I got a good story. I got no felonies. I ain't beating up on people. You know what I'm saying? I went to a great university and stuff. I'm educated. I've got all these check marks going on. And I really feel like, I think the industry could grow more if I was celebrated in that way. And I also think with the other athletes as well, find out what they're really great at. You should know what every person in that top 10 is really good at. And maybe find one of those partners to team up with you, and you can highlight an individual for that. Don't just rely on us to go get it for you. So that's where I feel like I'm all about teamwork, collaboration. I think that's where we live in the social media world. Like, we're collaborating right now. When we couldn't, people only knew certain things about Phil Heath. But now people can say, oh, I got a better understanding of where he is on these things. Or people will take what I said and spin it and then go put it on their channel.
Most likely they will.
They will.
They
So when you
will.
guys do that shit, make me the hero, villain, whatever the but these guys at Generation 9 Fitness Network, they got the real deal. You just got the little stuff. So I just had to say that, because some jack is going to do that and that's the selfish part. That's the lack of journalism part. And those are the same people that could never get an interview with me. So I just want to tell you guys that I appreciate you guys for coming up and being able to have this dialogue, because I think it's very
Absolutely, man.
important.
Absolutely. I appreciate it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Two more things I want to ask you about.
Yep.
So, Kai Green.
Yes.
You have a very interesting past with Kai Green.
Yes.
You guys had some battles on that stuff.
And those were awesome.
I still remember that press conference when you guys went at it. I think it was
14?
14, yes.
14, man.
How mad were you at that press conference?
Well, I was